Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. Translated using artificial intelligence into a modern text. Chapter 3. It was a warm spring night. After Robert left, I stayed at a small table on the terrace of the Napolitan and watched the evening come on. The electric signs flickered to life. The red and green traffic lights changed rhythmically. Crowds moved past in steady waves. Horse cabs clattered along the edges of dense taxi traffic. Women drifted by alone or in pairs, already looking for dinner. I watched a pretty girl pass my table and disappear up the street. Then I watched another. Then the first one came back. She passed again, caught my eye, and stopped. She sat down at my table. The waiter came over. "What will you have?" I asked. "Pernod." "That's not good for little girls." "Little girl yourself," she said. "Dites, garçon, un Pernod." "I'll have one too." "What's wrong?" she asked. "Going somewhere after?" "Sure. Aren't you?" "I don't know. You never know in this town." "Don't you like Paris?" "No." "Why not leave?" "There isn't anywhere else." "You sound happy." "Happy? Hell." Pernod is a greenish imitation of absinthe. When you add water, it turns cloudy. It tastes like licorice. It lifts you briefly, then drops you just as far. We drank. The girl looked sullen. "Well," I said, "are you going to buy me dinner?" She smiled, and I saw why she usually didn't laugh. With her mouth closed, she was fairly pretty. I paid for the drinks and we went out to the street. I flagged a horse cab, and we settled into the slow, smooth roll of it. We moved up the Avenue de l'Opéra past locked storefronts glowing with light. The street was wide and shining and nearly empty. We passed the New York Herald office, its window crowded with clocks. "What are all those clocks for?" she asked. "They show the time all over America." "Don't kid me." We turned onto the Rue des Pyramides, pushed through traffic on the Rue de Rivoli, then slipped through a dark gate into the Tuileries. She leaned against me. I put my arm around her. She lifted her face to be kissed and touched me with her hand. I moved her hand away. "Never mind." "What's wrong?" she said. "You sick?" "Yes." "Everyone's sick. I'm sick too." We came out of the gardens into the light, crossed the Seine, and turned up the Rue des Saints-Pères. "You shouldn't drink Pernod if you're sick." "You shouldn't either." "It doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter for a woman." "What's your name?" "Georgette." "Yours?" "Jacob." "That's Flemish." "American, too." "You're not Flemish?" "No." "Good. I hate Flemish men." By then we'd reached the restaurant. I told the driver to stop. Georgette looked at the place and frowned. "This isn't much of a restaurant." "No," I said. "We could keep going. Maybe Foyot's." She hesitated, then came in anyway. I'd picked her up out of a vague idea that it would be nice not to eat alone. It had been a long time since I'd gone to dinner with a woman like her, and I'd forgotten how dull it could be. We passed Madame Lavigne at the desk and sat in a small back room. The food helped Georgette's mood. "It's not bad," she said. "Not chic, but the food's fine." "Better than Liège." "Brussels," she corrected. We shared another bottle of wine. She made a joke and smiled, showing all her bad teeth. We clinked glasses. "You're not bad," she said. "Too bad you're sick. We get along. What happened to you anyway?" "I was hurt in the war." That dirty war. We might have gone on talking about it and agreed it was a disaster for civilization. I was bored enough. Then someone called from the next room. "Barnes! Jacob Barnes!" "I'll be right back," I said. At a large table sat Braddock's with a group. Cone, Francis Klein, Mrs. Braddock's, and several people I didn't know. "You're coming to the dance, aren't you?" Braddock's asked. "What dance?" "The dancing club," Mrs. Braddock said. "Didn't you know? We've revived it." "You must come," Francis said, smiling. "Of course he's coming," Braddock said. "Join us for coffee." "And bring your friend," Mrs. Braddock added. I went back to Georgette. "Who were they?" "Writers and artists. There are plenty of those over here." "Too many." "Some of them make money." "Yes." We finished dinner. "Come on," I said. "We'll have coffee with the others." Georgette checked her face in a small mirror, touched up her lips, straightened her hat. Good. When we entered, the men stood. "I'd like you to meet my fiancée, Mademoiselle Georgette Leblanc," I said. She smiled beautifully. "Are you related to the singer?" Mrs. Braddock asked. "Connais pas." "But the name—" "My name's Hoban," Georgette said. "He's a fool." "Oh," Mrs. Braddock said brightly. "A joke." "Yes, to laugh at." Francis spoke rapidly in French, polite and intent. "Do you like Paris?" "No," Georgette said. "It's dirty and expensive." "I find it very clean." "I don't." Georgette turned to me. "You have nice friends." Francis had been drinking. She might have continued, but coffee arrived, then liqueurs, and after that we all left for the dancing club. The place was a bal musette near the Pantheon. Most nights it was full of working people. One night a week it belonged to Braddock's crowd. When we arrived it was nearly empty. A policeman sat by the door. The owner stood behind the zinc bar. His wife and daughter moved about. The proprietor climbed onto a stool and played the accordion, bells strapped to his ankle. People danced. It was hot. We came off sweating. "What a place to melt in," Georgette said. "It's hot." "Hot? God. Take off your hat." She did. Someone asked her to dance. I went to the bar and drank a beer in the doorway, enjoying the cool air from the street. 2 taxis pulled up. Young men spilled out, white hands, clean faces, freshly washed hair. With them was Brett. She looked beautiful. She belonged with them. One of the men saw Georgette. "Well, well," he said, "an actual working girl. I'm dancing with her." I was furious. They always made me angry. Instead of doing anything about it, I left and had a bad beer and worse cognac at the next bar. When I returned, Georgette was dancing with them. They'd taken her over. I knew they would all dance with her. I sat down. Cone was there. Francis was dancing. Mrs. Braddock introduced a young novelist. I had a drink with him. I was just drunk enough to be careless. "Yes," I snapped when he asked if I liked Paris. "Don't you?" He smiled. I stood up. Mrs. Braddock followed. "Don't be cross," she said. "I'm not. I might be sick." Georgette was still dancing. Brett came to the bar. She was striking. Short hair brushed back, a jersey sweater, a tweed skirt. She carried herself like a racing yacht. "You've made a new admirer," I said later as we danced. "Don't," she said. "I didn't know." The heat, the music, the crowd, I felt suddenly happy. "Let's go," she said. We left. I gave the patron money for Georgette. Outside, we waited for a cab. In the next bar, we stood silently together. When the taxi came, I told the driver to drive aimlessly. Brett leaned back, eyes closed. "Oh, darling," she said, "I've been so miserable." Like this video and subscribe to Translated Works for Chapter 4 of The Sun Also Rises.